got an old slouch hat, got my roll on my shoulder. I'm as free as a breeze, and I'll do as I please, just if I'm around.
The term homeless is not really an accurate term of a homeless population in Manhattan or any of the various boroughs of New York City, because what you have within that population, just as you have within the population of people who have an address and are gainfully employed or are of independent means and have an address, what you have there is a very diverse population within itself, but it is rather separate socially for the most part from the rest of Manhattan. Anyway, there's a diverse type of people within this population that is often put into a bubble when we describe it as homeless. You have a population of people, some of them, who would be called in some cities canners. These are people who pick up bottles and cans and they redeem them for money. You have people who are mainly just scavengers. They're not necessarily looking for food, but they're scavenging for money, or they do perhaps opportunist crimes of grabbing a purse or a camera or a phone or something like that. And then there's some people that are just like pack rats who just have gone completely nuts, and they just are always picking up new things or interesting things or uninteresting things and just loading them up and saving them in bags and bags and bags. And that's where you get the term bag lady. Living as and living with these various types of people and analyzing them as best I could identify specific social and certain tight constructs within this group, just as we have in individuals who have a job, just as someone who's an auto worker or a waiter or whatever. You can even get Brazilian human hair, and you don't even have to buy a Brazilian. Oftentimes when one rides the bus or the train, when they fall asleep in New York or any major city in America that has public transportation, the individual will receive free at no charge air conditioning tailoring, which I say that in a tongue-in-cheek, where when you fall asleep, there's these characters that what they do is they take a box cutter usually or some other sharp knife or blade, and they will slice the pockets of their mark, who isn't necessarily a homeless person. Often they target the Latin men who are going home early in the morning with a pocket full of cash. I placed what I referred to myself as the cheese, a wallet with nothing in it, in my pocket. And so I didn't quite fall asleep, but I was making out as though I was. And I felt a tapping on my body. What they like to do is they like to see if you are asleep. So they'll tap your foot or they'll tap your chest. And if you were to wake up, they'd say, oh, I saw you sleeping. You better not sleep or someone will hurt you. Or they'll say, oh, I thought maybe you might have missed your stop, or something like that. Or by the way, have you got a cigarette? Some of the fellows are very clever. One fellow, he cut the front of this parka that I was wearing, and I said, hey, you're trying to rob me. And he said, no, you lie. And I said, oh, really? And he folded up his knife. Another time I woke up and this woman had her hand in my pocket of my coat, and I said, you're trying to rob me. And she says, no, I'm not. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt, and I asked her, well, if you're not trying to rob me, what's going on? She says, well, you don't remember, but you owe me money. I'm walking around and not bathing at a regular schedule. What happens often is that people are perturbed by how I smell, and so am I sometimes. So I was at a drugstore waiting in line for whatever it was I was buying, and this female bitch person behind me decides that she's going to make me smell a little better. So she sprays perfume on me, and I turned around and I said, listen, cunt, if you spray that on me once more, you're going to need some major plastic surgery, because I'm going to put a few extra holes in your body. If I could, I'd like to hire a private detective to find out where she is, to completely embarrass her in front of the whole world, so you could all send her nasty emails and get her address so you could all mail her fish heads and things like that. The drugstore in back of me is a Duane Reade. You might want to bleep that out or keep it. At 5th Avenue and 44th. Now, a few months ago was when I last quit visiting this store because I was in there, and of course I don't look, I don't look too stylish. And as I'm going up the escalator, this fellow, I guess he was the manager, he says, "Sir," and I turn as we're running up the escalator, he says, "Do you want to pay for some of those things that you have in your bag?" And I said, "Listen, mister, I didn't put anything in my bag. Let's go downstairs and I'll show you." So I went downstairs and I took everything out of my bag and I laid it on the floor. And I said, "See, I didn't put anything in my bag, and I don't want to shop in your store." And then I said a compound word to him where the last part of the word is the word whole. Yeah. I wouldn't give these sons of bitches a dime in fucking hell if you gave me $1,000. They can kiss my ass. Fuck the Salvation Army. And have a nice day.
Got an old slouch hat, got my roll on my shoulder. I'm as free as a breeze, and I'll do as I please, just a bumming around.